Hey guys, this is Ernesto and welcome back to yet another video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm having a wonderful day. So today I'm gonna walk you through 3 lighting setups, going from light and airy to moody and then very dramatic. So stay tuned and we're gonna get straight into it.
Time, looking back on pictures and I find it hard to see you and myself in places where we used to be. Oh, time, we got older, babe, and I wanna stay with you. Don't got time for games. Now what you wanna do? Tell me now if you will go with me all the way. Every night, every day, promise we'll never change. Are you gonna love me? Love me with my flaws and all. Will we be?
All right, so let me give you guys a little bit of context really quickly about how this shoot came about. So I really wanted to do a photo shoot and test out some new modifiers that I received. And if you guys are interested in those modifiers, the link is down below. I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I just got two new modifiers. The one that I had broke and I needed to get a new one. So I just wanted to test it out. So on the morning of this photo shoot, I reached out to the model to ask her if she would be available to do a photo shoot to help me test out these new modifiers. And luckily enough, she said yes, she was available on that very same day. So that's when we did the photo shoot. Now, obviously there was no specific theme for this photo shoot. I just wanted to create. And when she showed up, she showed me her wardrobe that she had. And based on the wardrobe that she came with, which she came with a couple of different options, which was great for me. The challenge was I didn't really know what she was gonna show up with, so I didn't prepare any type of lighting or anything. I didn't prepare nothing until she showed up, until we figure out what her wardrobe was gonna be. So once she picked that very first outfit is then when I made a determination of how I'm gonna set up the lights. All right, so now let's get into this first lighting setup. So on this first lighting setup, I used 2 lights. What I was looking for this particular setup was something warm, kind of like that sunset, sunrise vibe. So every photo shoot that I do, I really don't know how many lights I would use. I basically start out with 1 light, but on this particular photo shoot, I know I was trying to go for something a little bit light and eerie, and again, going for that sunset, sunrise type vibe. So I knew I had to have some type of a light source in the background. So what I decided to do was put the Godox AD600 with a reflector in the background, which is directly behind the subject on the deck. So the key for this basically is to make sure that you position that light in the right area. If you don't position it properly, what will end up happening is the light will be very concentrated in one specific area, which is not good. It doesn't basically give or sell. It doesn't sell the fake, if you would. So you want to make sure that you pull that light back so that you have enough room to spread. So like I mentioned before, that light had a reflector and it also had a gel on that light, and that gel allowed the light to be, give it that yellow feel to it, or that orange feel to it, which is what I was trying to go for in this particular setup. So the next light that was key for this particular setup was the main light. So the main light, I put that on the subject, obviously, and I tested it. And the problem with that light was the whiteness of the light. It was too white and it just wasn't really blending nicely with the overall image, and that's the feeling I got from it. And what I essentially end up doing is basically putting a gel on that light as well, which helped to make that light match up with the background light a little bit. So that helped to make the image a little bit more harmonious. And for me, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. And I ended up working with that. So One of the things that I would say if you were trying to do something like this is try to make sure that that main light is, well, especially with the gel is not blending in too much with the background light, because what's gonna happen with that is that your subject is not gonna pop, and they're not gonna pop off the background, so they're gonna be blended in and the image will just appear very flat. So just try to make sure that the main light is not overpowering that backlight with respect to not only with the power, but also with respect to the gel. Now, let me just mention this really quick because I'm sure you're gonna see it in the video as well. There is a third light that you see hanging around, which is the Godox AD600. It wasn't on any type of modifier, but you're gonna see it sitting in the video. I try to use that light and I try to use it as a fill, but basically it was overpowering the image and I ended up not using that light at all. So you're gonna see it in the video, but I wasn't using it. So this setup was just a 2-light setup and that was it.
Tell me now if you will go with me all the way. Every night, every day, promise will never change. Are you gonna love me? Love me with my flaws and all. Will we be enough, babe? Promise me we'll never fall. Time took a toll on us, I'll say. Time is merciless, it won't wait for you to change over time. We got older, babe, yeah, but I wanna stay with you and don't got time for games. Now what you wanna do? Tell me now if you will go with me all the way. Every night, every day, promise will never change. Tell me now if you will go with me all the way. Hey, hey.
So let's move on now to the 3-light setup. So for this 3-light setup, I was really trying to use the previous setup that I had, but the problem that I had with the previous setup, it was just not matching up well with the subject's wardrobe that she had. But luckily enough, I still had my small studio, home studio set up, and it had a black background already set up, which you guys have seen me shoot behind many times. So that was already set up, and I thought that would go really, really nice with what the subject was wearing. So I decided to just say, you know what, let me just break down the entire setup that I had and let's move everything to the studio. For this setup, I started with the main light to get that right on the subject. Because we were dealing with a black background, the subject was getting lost in the background. To resolve this problem, I added 2 lights, the AD200 with a reflector and a gel placed on a light stand behind the subject high above her head. This light helped to add a little bit of separation for the subject's head. The second light was an AD200 gel with a reflector plate on the background. This light provided the subject's body with some separation from the background. Lastly, I added a 5-in-1 reflector camera right of the main light to help reduce any bounce light hitting the subject.
It won't wait for us to change. Time, I am stressing out. I can't figure out what to say. Oh, time. Just give us time. Time, looking back on pictures, and I find it hard to see you and myself in places where we used to be. Oh, time, we got older, babe, and I wanna stay with you. Don't got time for games. Now what you wanna do? Tell me now if you will go with me all the way.
All right, so this is the final setup, which happens to be another 3-light setup. But for this particular setup, there was some slight modification from the previous setup that we had, and I'm gonna walk you through that now. So let's start out with what's the same. I'm still using my small home studio, and I'm also using the same main light from the previous setup in the same position, and the background light is as well. The only physical change I made was the hair light. I removed the reflector plate and replaced it with a strip box. This strip box was positioned camera left behind the subject. In addition, the strip box now became my main light source. The first image from this shoot that you will see, all I used was the strip box and the background light. The other images you will see, I used all 3 lights. So you may be wondering, if I wasn't using the softbox for the main light, then what was I using the softbox for? And the answer is, it was just acting as fill light. So in conclusion, my only intention for this particular photo shoot was simply to create. I'm super grateful the model decided to make herself available, which allowed me to explore and play with light. If you have a desire to shoot like right now, this very minute, phone a friend and get it on the calendar. What you don't need is a detailed plan to create when you have that desire to create. If you have a desire, go out there and get it done. It's the only way that you're gonna grow, and the only way that you're gonna learn to experiment with a whole bunch of things that you never experimented with before. So go out there and play. That's all I have to say for you guys. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, guys, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Put some comments down below, let me know what you think, and please share this video with your friends and family. And guys, if you got this far in this video and you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, as I've been saying in previous videos, you're not forced to subscribe. But if you want to subscribe, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified of future videos that are released. All right, guys. Oh, and then lastly, I do have my store. So if you guys want to check out anything on posing, lighting, composition, post-production, I have it on my store. So that link is down in the description below. All right, so that's it, guys. I will see you guys on my next video. Take care.